Okay. Most security champions, they all have something in common, right? They have good people, they have good intentions, but then somewhere between the launch and the 90-day mark, it becomes a calendar invite that nobody rejects, but nobody attends either. So I've built this program twice, once with every structural advantage that I could ask for, and once without most of them. And this talk is about I what I've learned building it second time and the blueprint that I wish I had had. So on that note, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my talk. My name is Amulya Basavaraj. I am from Exactly Corp. We are software as a service platform. We are AI-powered sales performance management software. That's what we do. I have about 12 years of experience, all in cybersecurity, starting with pen testing, secure code reviews, secure architecture reviews. I've built the application security champion program in my previous organization. I've seen it grow into this beautiful maturity model. I've tried to do the same thing in my second org, and I'm going to talk about it as we go forward. As I was saying, the launch was a success, but the program was a failure. So after the launch, everything looked good. We could say that we had a security champion program. We had good participation, strong engagement. On the surface, everything looked healthy. But underneath, it was all red, in bold and caps, because nothing actually moved. Nothing was moving. Now, this is what I call a watermelon metric. Green on the outside and red in the inside. The most dangerous part about this watermelon metric is that it looks healthy. It gives you an assumption that everything is going good. So nobody announced that the program had failed. It just stopped mattering. So by the time we realized what happened, we had lost the champions, we had lost the cohort and the credibility. So I had to do a bit of a homework, like I retraced my steps back to understand, okay, what went wrong? Where did we go wrong? What was the wrong step? And I think I figured it out. We confused seniority with influence. Those are not the same thing. I mean, you could have a senior in your title, but that doesn't mean you have the closer proximity as a junior analyst does. So what I did was I went to the data, right? So the data here is the Jira commit history. Now we're going to talk about it later. Just park this for some time, okay? Now, as I mentioned, I've had a privilege of building this program in an organization with every advantage that you would ask for, global reach, greater visibility, strong security posture. And I would like to show you what it looks like at maturity. So this is what I call a federated security model. Now, I'm not saying do exactly what I say, but I would like to give you a destination that is worth navigating to. Yeah, stage one, as we all know, our very beloved champion program. Simple, 10 engineers, trained, their time protected, and accountable. And then we move on to performing federated code reviews. So here, I know although I say federated code reviews, it could also mean that engineers stepping up and prioritizing security issues in their builds, identifying security issues in their code and reporting it. So this is what I call stage two. And then we have security team leads. So here we have the senior champions responsible for their own security posture, as in for their own product build. Oops, sorry. And then finally, we move on to the distributed security system. So here, every team will have its own product security team, security ownership. And AppSec is not the final gate anymore. The first gate would be the senior champions, and then we are involved in the final approval. We govern rather than we being the gate. So we did not set out to build the security teams. The idea was to start the program with 10 engineers, but 10 right engineers. So the key being the right champions. Yeah. Successfully building this program at a scale and failing to try rebuilding it second time. I did a bit of a research. I referred to the champion Bible that our beloved Dustin has created. And I also spoke to every champion in my first cohort, trying to understand what went wrong. And after all this, I think I've narrowed it down to these 5 conditions. And this is not about tools, it's not about training. This is about building that conducive condition which will help launch your program better and also sustain the champions better. The very important and first and very foremost condition, ownership. Not buy-in, ownership. I know everyone talks about executive buy-in, stakeholder buy-in. It is not same as ownership. And let me tell you how it matters, right? The sponsorship says, I support this program. But the mandate says, my team will have a champion and I am accountable to it. Now, see, the most powerful thing we ever did was to make the champion participation a condition for their build approval. If your team did not have an active and trained champion, your build did not get certified. That is not a carrot, that is structural reality. And so if you don't have that proper partnership with the executives, it's very hard to get this off the ground. And I have tried it. So how do we build this accountability ladder? Right? The first one, an easy one, where you embed into their security OKRs, your SMART goals, the KPIs. It's a easy start, doable, and then you have performance reviews, and this is where the behavior actually changes. So when the champions understand that their security work makes it to the document that decides their promotion, it matters, right? And then, as I said, federated code reviews, where champions take ownership of building a better code or doing federated code reviews or flagging the security issues, prioritizing security modules in their build. And finally, the destination, that is the team security ownership, the federated security model. Most organizations, they are at level 1 and they wonder why nothing moves. See, you have to identify where you are at and try to know what it takes to move to the next level. Yeah. Find where the work lives. Now, when I couldn't get the management to give me the list of right champions, I went to the data, right? Now, this is what I call a Jira detective framework. Remember the Jira commits that I spoke earlier about? This is where we're going to elaborate. So yeah, when I said I went to the data, I looked at all the Jira commit history. Who was actually doing the work? Who is prioritizing the security issues, or rather, who is working on the security tickets? Right now, these are your potential Jira, your potential champion pool. I'm not saying go to everyone and recruit all of them. What I'm saying is this is where you can get your real cohort. So talk to them, identify if their aspirations is in line with your champion program, then definitely, so you have your real cohort lying there. So don't wait for the management anymore. Build the evidence and take to them and say, okay, here are the names of people that I would like to have on my cohort, and I need your approval to go ahead. It's easier. Okay. An OKR with no operational consequence is a suggestion. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that you need your champions to feel that their work matters, for their team's ability to ship better products, for their managers to recognize the work that they have been doing, and eventually for them to have a clear career path. So once they know that, okay, this is where I'm headed at, it becomes easier for them to participate in this program because they know what they're going to be eventually in a certain number of years. So I spoke to every champion in my first cohort, not as a team, not in a survey, but individually. I tried to connect with them. I wanted to understand, what this program meant to them, what would make them to stay, what did not work, and almost universally, they all said the same thing. They said, we want to do what you guys do. I mean, come on, we have to admit that cybersecurity is still one of the coolest jobs out there. We break systems. So this is what they want to do. They want to do the exciting stuff. They don't want to be checking in the code doing QA anymore. They want to do something exciting, like breaking the systems, trying to see, okay, how can I bypass so and so control? So there is that aspiration. You just have to identify it, right? So what you do is you build the new exchange around their answer. How do we do that? So again, conferences, and then monetary recognition, a visibility with leadership, and the most important, a career path that leads somewhere real. So show them where it leads, right? And you tell them, okay, what I'm going to what I understand is that the most powerful retention tool is a visible future, right? So not what the role is right now, but what the role can become. So show them a clear destination. Okay, you're going to start with a champion. After a couple of contributions and a good training, you could move on to becoming a federated reviewer, a BU security lead, and then you could be part of the distributed security leadership. Now, give them the path. A program with a visible career path retains champions, whereas a program which feels like a permanent side job doesn't. So identify the difference. So as I said, this is the blueprint. So ownership, not, sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to just walk to the blueprint. Yeah. So ownership. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. I don't know why I got this. Though.
Showing correct now.
Oh.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We can also change this,
Yes.
but maybe
Yes.
we should
Thank
just
you very much. Yeah. rebuilding this entire program in a new organization, um, without the mandate, without the gate, and without the institutional memory that made the first version easier. And this is the blueprint that I am following. So, so what I've learned is that you can't wait for management approval. You build the data, you show them the proof, and then you make the ask undeniable. So start with one person. The whole intention is not to build security teams overnight. The idea is to embed application security so deep into the engineering that security becomes the floor. As our CISO would like to say, application layer cake. So start with one person who is doing the job, and then the program will take care of the rest. You help them complete their training, you provide the necessary support, and then may not be overnight, but it builds champion by champion, cohort by cohort, and then you have a successful championship program up and running, and you reap the merits of it. Because the destination is worth the build. Okay. I'll take questions now. Yes.
So what does the model look like?
Yes.
Security end goal? Can you describe what that looks like? Like the vision.
Okay. Yeah. So since I've worked with devs, I'm going to start with them. You have a developer who is building the engineering team, building the project. So you train them on security, so they understand the security concepts, the fundamentals of it. So they are actively engaging in securely building, securely shipping the products. And then in the next cohort, they become the seniors. So they are partially responsible for making sure that their product is secure. It's just not the AppSec anymore. Not everyone is coming to AppSec. It's like, okay, we need an approval, because they can take care of the smallest approvals. Let's say if they want to check in if a particular module that's been built is secure or not, they know how to scan it. They know how to fix it. So that is the next. And then furthermore, you'll have them take on a better or a more senior role. So which means that now they are training their juniors, the security champions that are newly joined. And then eventually there is also companies who recruit security champions. Like they have a JD out there, and the understanding is that you need to have a good understanding of development, security, and of course the design. Eventually that's where you grow. So in that, the end goal is, let's say if the app wants to come up with some new module, they first run it by their the VU lead, the champion, the senior champion. They take a look at it and then say, okay, these are the controls that I would need to present, and they work on it. And once everything is ready, they come to us. So we are not the final gate. No, engineers is not. They are not queuing up for AppSec approvals, and we are not slowing the delivery anymore. We are governing it. We are making the final risk decisions. So this is how it will progress.
So are each of the 4 steps per individual champion, or is it for the program?
It is both. It is the champion as well as the team.
Got it. So how does that look then in terms of have different champions?
Mm-hmm.
Program like that, right? So maybe you have one who's at 4th step, right? And you have another champion
Yes.
just starting. Is that okay? Like you just differently?
Yes, that is right. Because so now there are 2 things that we're going to talk about. That is the champion and then the team. So we are seeing not just the progression of a person, the champion, but we are also seeing the progression of the security maturity, right? It's not So that's the whole point. You're not saying, okay, security champion is limited to doing so and so, helping with us. It's more like you take the responsibility as well. So now there will be, every year there will be new champions trained, and then the progression that, okay, once you finished your training, these are the responsibilities you take on, and this is how you progress further. And then you make it to the BUs or the products security teams.
What happens if that champion no longer so maybe they've brought their team
Mm-hmm.
and then they leave the company, other champion, but they're sort of starting beginning.
Okay, yes, okay.
If their team has progressed to level 3, they as a champion, maybe they're not ready. How would you?
Okay, so this is the first step, is building a small cohort of the champions, right? But as you progress, you know that the whole program is progressing to a building a more team. So I think now is the time to take on more champions, not just one. Later, now we are restricting to 10 champions because we want to, like, progress step by step. But as the program matures, you could recruit more champions per team, not just stick to one champion per team. I mean, we see every company growing every year. So I think there's also scope of growth here in the program as well.
Like ideally, you'd have more than one. If someone leaves, is that the end goal? Is to have 2 of them?
I mean, if our company is building more products, more tools, more recruitment, so the bigger the product the team engineering team grows, so does we can the champion program as grows as well. I think what I'm saying is the champion program could be the stepping stone of building something bigger, like embedding security, like sharing the ownership or security ownership of the product. Like if we have, let's say, if a team has, let's say, 5 products, and if you have 5 teams, let's say, if not too many, like if you have at least team 3 members per team who is responsible for all security and at different levels, imagine how much growth we have done already. Like we have a junior who is, like, looking into the code level, and then someone else who is looking at maybe the architecture level, the integration level, and then we have some. So even they have a hierarchy where they can reach out to their seniors, and so we have that ownership distributed across the teams. Of course, thank you. Yes.
Have you found like you've gotten pretty good traction with like gamify badges?
Definitely, yes. So the way we train our champions is via this tool called Secure Flag. I don't know if you've heard of it. So it is, so they have this multiple training programs, and they also have labs where the champions can test what they have learned. So they have a practical, a real time experience of what breaking a control or breaking something looks like, right? So here we also have tournaments. When we conduct the tournaments, I think that is where the participation rate is really high, even though they are not responding to your emails, but they are participating in the tournaments. So yeah, definitely. And that is one of the selling points, like, oh, we have this really cool tournaments. And Secure Flag is so great that they actually provide the winner and the runner with a gift card. So yeah, side benefit.